I don't know what, I don't know how it all will initially turn out. I don't know. But I got a feeling that I'll live to see it, that there won't be any doubt in anyone's mind that there's other worlds out there that has life on it. It's going to be proven. I was lecturing one time with Jenny Dixon, and you know who Jenny Dixon is? In St. Petersburg, Florida. And when I arrived there, she told them that she wanted to talk with me when I got there. So I went up to her suite, and she asked everybody to leave. And she took a reading on me and wanted to talk with me. And she told me, she said, I know this happened to you and Calvin. But then, see, I was going everywhere people wanted me to go, I'd go. I wanted everybody to know about it then. It wasn't making no money, but I mean, you know, I was doing it. I'd lay off more and do it. Anyhow, she told me, she said, you need to slow down. She said, you'll prove one day that this happened to you. She said, you're going to kill yourself at the rate that to face your boy. And I asked her, I said, Miss Dixon, I said, do you have any idea where these things might have come from? She told me, yes, I do. She said that I think they come from a small moon off of Jupiter. We know now that there's 9 or 11 moons that Jupiter has. They found one now with possibility of water on it, life. So maybe it's close by than we think it is. Jupiter's so big, we don't know what's about the home. We don't know Jupiter. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Have you ever thought about it? Maybe crossed your mind in the last 28 years why, or even longer than that, when you were growing up, why they might have chosen you for some reason, or?
I don't know. The only thing I can figure there is that when I know something to be the truth, ain't nobody gonna change my mind. I think they wanted me to know. And back then, you know, people wouldn't even talk about UFO. And now it's a common word, you know, household word, UFO, everybody knows about them. So I think they want people to know that whenever they do come down, it won't be so bad. But can you imagine what would happen if the president would come on air now and tell us that we're going to be visited from another world out there somewhere? What might happen? And I don't think they want that either.
Now, you went to Hickson, obviously, you were interviewed by some folks there. Did they ever say, hey, we don't want you to talk about this, or you didn't actually see what you saw? You know, we always hear about that.
No.
Well, how did they deal with you? I mean, how have they been? Have they ever contacted you anymore? Or?
Oh, yeah. I've talked to many people from the military and scientists. I've talked to people from NASA. They've come to my home and talked with me. And you'd be surprised with the scientists that I've talked to that they know there's other worlds out there with Bible. And no, my family's never had any ridicule. I've never had any ridicule. In fact, we're more friends than we've ever had in our lives now. And my daughter was in school. Her classmates, they wanted to, you know, to talk to me, want to see what happened. And so they come home with her, you know, and they was really enthused over it. Because the young people are the ones got to deal with this some of these days, you know. So we've never received any ridicule, you know.
So in your opinion, that this is what you... Let me try to put that cord. Someone's taking the cord. Just fell over there real quick. That's not true.
Sorry.
No, not at all.
But it's real.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you think that it's, this isn't some kind of military experiment or something like that.
No, it couldn't have been, no. No, it couldn't have been. It had to have been real, something from another world, out there somewhere.
And you said that some people that didn't say anything back then have kind of contacted you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now, in that book there's a couple of people in PASCAGOULA that already said then that they had saw it. I've had a man write me from Atlanta, Georgia, just a little while back. he told us, Mr. Hickson said it's been a long time, so I finally want to tell you that me and two more of my friends saw that night. We were small boys. And said we were so afraid we wouldn't tell nobody, we wouldn't come out then. But he wrote me a long letter and told me that we did see that night. And then there was a lady that was out back, somewhere over there, that was in the evening, in the summertime, hanging her clothes on the line. And she said she saw some kind of crash, looked like it was coming over that way. And a lot of people saw it. There was a Sunday school superintendent, music teacher, and I don't know who all.
Could be more that have not, if
They saw that crash. They would come forward in it. They didn't want to get ridiculed. They thought it'd be they would be ridiculed for doing it, They wouldn't believe things then. But,
so now you said, I remember you said it was like a crackling or a buzzing sound?
like a buzzing sound, just like a buzzing, like air, maybe air escaping from a pipe.
Okay.
And it went off.
And it was silent?
Silent. I didn't hear anything, no engine sound, or these things didn't make any noise at all.
And you didn't smell any fuel or anything like that? No jet fuel or something?
No.
No.
No, I didn't get any odor at all.
And when you went back out there to check it out again, could you see it was hovering? It wasn't like on the ground,
It wasn't
right?
on the ground.
So there wouldn't be any marks or anything?
Wasn't any mark. There was a lot of people went out there that said they did see something unusual, but I doubt that because it never touched the ground. And I know you read Eric Von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods, and he came over here, and he wanted to talk with me. We went out there, and he took, I don't know how many pictures of the place, and he was real enthused about it. He told me that there'd be no doubt in my mind it happened.
Now there's, obviously yours and Calvin's story is a very famous story. There's Travis Walton, out there in Arizona, and then of course Betty and Barney Hill. Now there's thousands, maybe even 1 million people claim to have been maybe abducted or made some kind of contact. Do you think that a lot of times those people might be exaggerating, those stories might not be as believable?
Well, it could be. I don't know, but it could be.
Right.
Now, this thing happened to me. I got a letter from Betty Hill in Portland, New Hampshire. And she invited me up there to let's talk about it. She was, maybe these things were the same. So I grabbed a plane to Boston, and William and Dad hit me right to move. He met me in Boston. We got to rent a car and drove on out to Portland. And I spent a couple of days and nights there talking with Betty. And she wanted to believe that it was the same thing, but it wasn't. I told her, I said, they don't resemble the things that you saw. I said, these things were robots. And then I talked with Travis Walton. He's a friend of mine now. I talked with him a long time in Aspen, Colorado. We was out there at the glacier, and we talked there a long time, then back to Denver on the plane. And that happened to him. I know that happened to him in Betty Hill. But anybody else, I don't know.
Of course, they made a movie out of his experience. Has anyone ever approached you about doing it?
Oh, yeah, like I wouldn't do it. I just didn't want to do it. But now, I'm having talked with some people now, it's been so long now. And it's cost me a lot of money. It's cost me a lot of time, and away from my job, away from my family. But now, I'm going to see, I'm going to make some money on it.
Do you have any regrets that you were there, that place, at that time? I mean,
I've thought about that a million times, and I don't wish it hadn't have happened to me. But now I know that there's another world out there somewhere, and I've had an opportunity to meet some of the most brilliant scientists in the world, and I've met a lot of people, UFO investigators, and everybody else from all over the country and all over the world. And no, I don't wish it hadn't happened to me.
You think about all these, it seems like maybe it was 15 years ago or so around here on the Gulf Coast, there's lot of so-called, sightings that were starting to happen, or people were getting some videotape footage. Do you think those were, real sightings? What, the Gulf Breeze sightings or something like that?
Forgive me, Lord, if I'm wrong, but that was a fake. That didn't happen. I went down there with Bud. You know who Bud Hopkins is.
Mm-hmm.
Bud came down from New York. I've become real good. He's been there several times. We've become real good friends. And he wanted me to go with him over to where that thing happened over there and talk with them people. There were some people that was working for him that had a photograph of a thing that he made and filmed. So that was all a fake. It wasn't real. And all them Gulf Breeze sightings they see now, a bunch of bullshit. But excuse my language.
That's okay. That's fine.
But it's not right. Most of those things are from that airport or Air Force base down there, a couple Air Force bases.
Let's see. Do you think that these aliens or the extraterrestrials, could they be from, maybe 1,000 years in the future? Are they like time travelers maybe? Or did you get the technology to be able to do what they're doing?
No, I don't think. I think they have the means to come to Earth. I don't know how. What I've thought about and talked with a lot of people, it could be their mind, to travel with their mind. I honestly believe that we could use 40 or 50% of our brain more. We could move mountains. We could do anything. Maybe that's the way they travel. Well, you say, why do they bring a spaceship? Well, they got to have things in the spaceship to do the tests when they get here. But probably I'm wrong, but I believe that they do it with their mind. That's why they trust it.
How much do you think the government knows about this? Do you think that
They know a lot about it, yeah.
Do you think they've actually made contact with some of these beings?
I think so. I've talked with some of the astronauts. I talked with Jim McDivitt. He's one of the first in New York. And he told me that whenever they were up there in outer space, they had the rockets off, and he said that the other two astronauts were asleep, and they had the cameras on all the time, and said that he saw three objects coming in their direction that it looked like it was going to be a collision, they're on a collision course. So he told me that he called Houston Control and told them, and they gave him permission to fire the rockets and move out of the way. But he said before we fired the rockets, that they swerved and missed them, and said he had it on the camera. And so when they got back down there, said that they told him that there wasn't anything on the film. But he said he had to advance. He said he told them there wasn't anything on the film.